does the ordinary Tiboli Urban live? How do they do their beads in their homes and make their fibers in their homes? And we also try to preserve and again rehabilitate our falls, our forests, and our environments. And I think that is where we are succeeding. And also providing livelihood, sustainable livelihood for people.
Okay. So, Governor ᴄᴏ, you were saying a while ago that you want to promote Ifugao as a sports tourism destination. And I know that there has been some headline by Governor Puyan, when she went there. Is there like a quota for number of guests that you can welcome in your destination? For example, for that particular, event?
Yes, of course, ma'am, because it has become a national, shall we say, attraction. And in fact, in the latest Ponok Festival in Ungwan, we noticed foreign tourists attending the festival because the Ponok Festival, ladies and gentlemen, is a tug-of-war in the river that is conducted after the harvest of our rice in the rice paddies. So it adds more attraction to the Banag rice terraces, our rice terraces, and of course our native products like the Tinawan rice or Arum rice that is produced in the rice terraces. So it has add more or increased the tourism arrival in the tourism industry in the province of Ligao.
All right. So I just want to ask everyone, let's start with Governor Shari. How do we advocate responsible and sustainable tourism in your respective destinations?
Yes, I think it's more on because our places are really, it's part of the challenge because we have, like in my province, we are disaster prone. We have the problem with security. We have a high incidence of poverty. So, kung makikita talaga all the ingredients na ayaw ng investors. But aside from that, tinignan kasi namin what are the assets that we have. We have the natural resources. We have the largest cave in the Philippines. We have different falls. We have the banig weaving in Basay. And sabi ko, better siguro we come up with a cultural mapping para alam talaga natin kung ano ang assets at meron tayo, the potentials. And then move forward na hindi lang masayang yung mga nandito na sa atin. So, right now, since investors are not that, sabihin natin, na-attract sa amin, right now, we focus on community-based tourism. So, siguro yun yung isa sa parang strength ng province. Kasi it's not easy to organize people's organization. It's not easy for them to understand. Kasi usually, ang gusto nila is may kikitain ba kami dito? May pera ba dito pag ginawa namin? Mababago ba yung buhay namin pag ginawa namin ito? So you have to make a values transformation and series of trainings para umabot sila sa point na they will own it, they will value it. So yun siguro yung isa na nakikita namin na strength ng province namin. We focus on community-based tourism.
Oh, that's very interesting, and that will be the sustainability of the destination if everybody can come together. And for me, I really believe that community-based tourism is the way to go because if you can bring the lowest part of the society on a higher level, then where they can express their dignity, they have this sense of pride and earn a better income, then that's what we call the inclusive growth, no? So kay naman, Governor ᴄᴏ, how do you advocate responsible and sustainable tourism?
Well, we have to include some information drive and education in our tourism plan, and we have to train the youth to embrace and to appreciate our culture and our heritage. And we also have some networking as said by Undersecretary. In fact, aside from being a tourism site, it's also a GIA site that is globally important agricultural heritage system. I went to Japan, funded with the funding of JICA to improve our farming system in the rice terraces. I'm going to Spain by September to present also our intangible heritage on the international cultural cooperation network. So networking, collaboration, and of course the cooperation with other enthusiastic organizations in tourism, and of course we have to sustain also. We have also to provide a little fund for the province in order to sustain our tourism industry and our heritage site.
Thank you. So kay Governor Mayamo naman, he's working on the awareness or education and then working with the youth and preservation of heritage. It's very interesting. Yes, Governor Days.
Alam mo kung may takot magpunta ng Samar, mas marami may takot magpunta ng Mindanao. pero what we're doing is ownership of the community and ownership of our people in South Cotabato and pride on the culture, right? Ownership, because if you look at South Cotabato, our investors are not outsiders. Our people put up and improve their farms and open their homes. They put up resorts and they put up hotels.
Correct.
We do the rehabilitation of our forest through community effort. We designated and the people agreed to donate some portion of their areas for our, we call that corridor, to ensure that the unique insects that we have, animals that we have will survive and not deteriorate. So we have done that, connecting the hillsides or the mountains of Tampakan to the mountains of Linan to Peak, where our tertiary sanctuary is located. We are starting to connect the Lake Holon and the series of mountain ranges up to Lake Cebu.
Right.
It's the people that does it. Our nurseries are owned by the communities where the forests and the falls are located. We give them honorariums for that, but they own it. And even the beads and the gold that we are now producing, because we're producing in Tiboli, and it's the miners that does it.
Right.
It took us maybe 3-5 years before we reached the stage where we can make our own gold and jewelries,
Right.
and copper into jewelries or silver into jewelries. But we are going there. If you go to Tiboli, it's a very, very far place. Not so far, because we have completed the roads leading towards that. You're going to be surprised that there are hotels there. Rising. We have hotels in Tupi.
Right.
We have hotels in Tandangan. And in places where, you only see cottages before. And if you go to Coronadal, we have resorts, and you want to eat durian, you don't buy it in the streets. You go to a farm where there's pools, natural pools, where you can bring your family. There are adventures activities there, and I think that's the reason why I believe that we can be sustainable. We're very, very strict. We only open Holon maybe 2 times a week, and there are months where we're closing it to give the lake the time to regenerate. And we're doing that in every tourism destinations we have, to ensure that what we have today will be better for the future generation.
Okay, very good. So Governor Daisy is working on geographical connectivity and then ownership of the culture and the community, no? And then I want to ask, because Yusek Alma a while ago was talking about the rise of experiential travel for to boost economic activity. If there will be guests, how will you sell your destination? What are the 3 top experiences that you think you can sell from your respective destinations? What are the top 3 experiences?
First, it's the breathtaking nature. I mean, the nature that we have. It's very raw, authentic. So the authenticity of it. Second, the people. They're very warm. They're innocent because, hindi kami sanay na maraming taong bumibisita.
Right.
Probably, initially, people are shy, but along the way, parang nandun na rin yung nag-open na sila ng mga sarili nila, their families, their home, to the guests.
Okay.
And third, you can emerge...
So homestay?
Yeah.
You have homestay program.
And you can emerge with what the community is doing.
Okay. Like, for example, the weaving.
Like the agricultural side.
Alright, that's interesting.
Yeah, the weaving, because we have this weaving industry, and from the plain and souvenir type banings, we transform it to a higher level.
Alright.
And we brand it Lara.
Okay.
Actually, we are part of the Artesino right now.
Yes, right.
After this, I'm gonna visit also our booth there. So, nakita ko kasi, yung mga tao talaga namin were so excited to receive guests.
Okay.
And it's also part of the assurance that we're really, it's an affirmation that we're really doing the right thing.
Alright. Thank you. So it's cultural immersion through arts and crafts, and then a homestay program to be one with the community. So that's very interesting. Kay Governor Mayamo naman po, what do you think are the top 3 experiences that you can sell to, how do you sell your destinations? What are the top 3 experiences that can only be found in your destination?
Well, of course, we have listened to all the view of our rice terraces, but it's not only in Banawi. We have also rice terraces in the 7 municipalities, actually in the Fugao. We have also our intangible heritage, like our beautiful culture, including, as I have said, our indigenous sports that are being conducted, our festivals.
Like in details po, what are the experiences po? For example, sports. Sports tourism that you mentioned.
Yes, we have conducted the Indigenous Sports Festival, showcasing our indigenous sports in the province.
So the guests can partake. Pwede silang sumali. Okay.
Like our dances, we always invite our guests, local and foreign tourists, to dance with us, to join in our sports activities, for example. And of course, we have also our chants and our chants.
Okay.
And the tourists can join us for as long as they can at least have the rhythm of the chants that we have in the province.
That's very interesting. I saw the Secretary Bernard ᴜᴜys showed to me the video made by ᴜᴜys when he went there. How did it affect in terms of marketing the destinations? Meron bang mga feedback after Secretary Berna, went ahead, became like a headline for taking part in that sports activity?
Yes, of course. In the social media, when they saw the secretary joining the Punok in the Bogwan, everybody got interested and when will be the next Punok so that we will come and attend. And not only our local tourists, even our foreign tourists are asking when will be the next Punok so that they will come and watch and join.
Right.
Because in every sports activities in the province, we always open it to tourists to join us in the games.
You have the best promoter na, libre. Oo. So,
And
meron ba kayong tour package na? Dapat tour package na nilalabas nyo. And then the schedule, kailan, para may quota na kayo. Because I think that place is quite sacred. And then as you mentioned, you don't want for it to be overcrowded, right?
Yes, in fact, Madam, every activity we have an assessment so that we will see what is going to be improved in the next festival, what are our shortcomings and what is there to improve so that we will have a better festival in the next season.
Yes, yes. So, share nyo na lang kung meron kayo. Ito na ang mga ahente. Pwede na tayo magbenta. So, the after packages, please share it with everyone. And then, kung ano yung maximum number of guests so that they can start selling to their respective clients. So, Governor Daisy, sa inyo naman, what are the top 3 experiences
You want
to wow the guests?
Okay, you want adventure and trekking. Every week we now have biking, Halos everyday biking trails and motorcycle trails for those who wants to feel the power in the bikes and the motorcycles. You want to go trekking, adventure to Matutong and ᴜᴜᴍᴇ and ride the zip line. That's in adventure. Second, in culture, of course, we have ᴜᴜYs and ᴘ괜ᴜ. Third, in the home, food tripping, homestays, tourism, farm tourism, we have many of that already. You can choose where to go for food tripping. But every towns we have specialization. So when you travel by the road going to Lake Cebu, you can stop. You want the most tasty ice cream or halo-halo, you should stop in one place. If you want to eat all the kinds of how tilapia is cooked, or hito is cooked, or native chicken, we have that kind of restaurants, and you just can't stand by, no? And I think one thing experience is that South Cotabato succeeded in a way connecting the tourist sites, not only of South Cotabato, but Sarangani, ᴜᴜᴍᴇ, and most of all, Sultan Kudarat. This is a new frontier. So if you want to see thousands and thousands of birds, you don't have to wait. You go to Tacorong and it's interconnected to Tivoli and Lake Cebu. Thanks to the Department of Tourism for the roads anyway. And thank you for former RD De Liera who really put it up with us by inviting experts to really clinic our tourism potentials. Thank you.
She did a fantastic job. Actually, when I went to South Cotabato, she was my personal guide. So I was actually fascinated because it was my first time in ᴑ괜ᴜᴇ. But Tivoli culture, it's parang I was so moved. Actually, I would advocate that all of you should go there. Actually, naiyak ako when I went there because it makes me have a realization who we are as Filipino people back in the days where we were never colonized by Spain, no? And they're able to manage to preserve the integrity of their culture. Even the cuisines are still there, still very much alive. And then the crafts, and then the traditions are very much alive. So I think for me, it's a wow factor for guests to be able to experience South Cotabato. So I just want to ask, tourism comes with complex challenges. What do you think has been the most significant challenge that you have encountered, and how did you manage to rise above that? Yes, Governor Sher.
Me convincing my Samarinos that we have that potential.
Okay.
The internal. Yeah, and at the same time, externally convincing people from the outside that we are not that, sobrang negative. Kasi parang dalawang side talaga yung challenge. Sa loob, hindi sila naniniwala talaga na meron kaming ganon.
Okay.
Sa labas, meron ba talaga kayong ganyan?
Alright.
I mean, even may sangguniang panlalawigan, even my brother, the vice gov,
Right.
he just said, probably that's just a white elephant that you're pushing. But after the branding that we did, the Spark Summer,
Okay.
dun na,
Okay.
nag-smoothen na lahat.
Oh, that's quite a very significant foundation, no, to start with promoting tourism. Very interesting. And I think before we head start with all the marketing and promotions, we start with our people. So thank you very much, Governor Shen. Yes, Governor, ano naman yung mga pinaka-significant challenge that you have encountered, and then how did you manage to rise above?
One of the challenges that we've encountered is our out-migration of the youth because
Out-migration.
in the sustainability of the rice terraces, of course, the farmers and the people who will work on the rice field to produce the rice, to make the rice field, the rice terraces beautiful. And our challenge is how to bring back these youth and those out migration from the province to tend to the rice field and bring back what is there in the rice terraces and what is there in our culture to at least promote and add it to our tangible heritage.
Okay. So what are what are the action points to seduce them to go back to the rice terraces?
Let me take this opportunity to also to give my appreciation to the Secretary of Agriculture because he funded also the geotagging and rehabilitation of our damaged portion of the rice terraces so that there will be more rice paddies for production.
Alright.
And then we will be marketing our heirloom rice at a higher price. It is now considered a high value crop.
Okay.
So that the youth will come back to the province and attend to the rice fields to maintain them and to
have a source
make
of
them more
income.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and have income, correct.
Okay, thank you so much, Governor. Governor Daisy, ano yung significant challenge nyo? Security, I know, province we always say security.
I have two challenges.
Two! Hindi
Una,
lang.
the people hungered for development, right?
Mhm.
They have pride in their environment
Correct.
and in their culture. But we cannot seem to know how to do it, to develop
Okay.
it. And I was so thankful because we finished our tourism roadmap.
Alright.
And all my mayors, all my communities are really adhering to that. Our still challenge is to get architects and planners that will guide us because we don't have it.
Okay.
Yung tulay namin, gusto ko parang maganda. Yung tulay na gagawin nila, parang konkreto na tulay sa
Okay,
highway. Diba?
so yung
Parang
challenge.
So
Okay.
yun, we still challenge yan.
Oo.
Second, pero maganda na ngayon kasi may roadmap na kami, tourism roadmap. Second, of
Infrastructure.
course, peace and order. But
Infrastructure
thank
and
to,
peace and order.
Yeah.
Alright.
Pero thanks to internet, we have campaigned to our people to post in their private social media accounts the beauties of South Cotabato.
Okay.
And I think we're getting headway there for the first time. Kasi siguro sa Metro Manila, millions ang pinag-uusapan na turismo na dumarating. Kami more than kalahating milyon kami, happy na kami.
Wow.
Sobrang 1,000 kaming foreigner, sobrang happy na kami niyan, di ba? Pero ngayon, for the first time, one night namin na celebration ng Tinala Festival, more than 300,000 people are
Wow.
there, di ba? So sabi namin, next year, siguro lalaki na naman to. So dapat maganda na naman tayo.
Because of social media.
Because of
Oo.
social media. So, you always find a way. Hindi kasi kami pwedeng sabihin na hindi totoo yung impression nyo about Mindanao. Hindi kami yun, peaceful
That's
kami
right,
na
yeah.
South Cotabato. And we learned how to adapt. But, of course, what I can only say, it's not safe is that, sometimes lahat naman kami ng mga governors,
Oo.
kasi na-realize namin, hindi kami magkakaroon ng trabaho yung mga tao namin na
Oo.
extra income kung
Oo.
farming lang.
Alright.
Talagang wala kahit anong gawin namin dyan. So tourism really will bring people, therefore many will eat our produce or local produce. Marami ang titira sa aming hotel, bibili sila ng mga nagawa namin. So ikakabuhay ng tao namin yan. So we realized, tapos dyan pa ang paraan para ma-preserve, conserve namin ang aming natural resources.
Correct.
Ang pinakamaganda is for us to really ask for help from experts to guide us. Kasi minsan medyo topsy-turvy, no? And slowly, South Cotabato is overcoming the challenges. I have such positive outlook in the future of our tourism industry.
Right. And I really believe, bias aside, we have to give it to Director Nelly for pushing, South Cotabato and ᴠɪsɪᴛ. A very unpopular destination now, it's like the hottest and like one of the most promising destinations to compete, So thank you to Director Nelly for that. So the President of ᴑɪ so hello Director Nelly. So the President of ᴑɪ is coaching us that we now, it's now time to open the floor for questions. If there are any questions from the floor, there are like microphones, so this is your precious opportunity to interact with our governors
or if there are like comments, concerns. Anyone? Meron bang question? So nandiyan na yung ating microphone. Please introduce yourself, where are you from, and what's your question? Yes, madam. Tayo, ma'am.
Good morning, I'm Len from the PTAA, and my question is, are these destinations ready to receive like more than 5 million visitors in like festivals?
Ano yan? Spread out in 1 year.
5 million
Spread
talaga.
out in 1 year.
Isang probinsya na yun.
What's your question? 5 million spread out in 1 year
Yeah.
or per festival?
For festivals.
Per festival, 5 million per festival?
Isang
Yes.
probinsya.
Are we ready to receive visitors with that figure?
5 million.
Kaya namin siguro mga
One festival.
one festival, hindi kaya. 5 million, hindi kaya. Hindi kaya. Siguro kahit na
I think I want to go back to the presentation of Yusek ᴠɪsɪᴛ.
Yes.
We cannot really change the, all markets.
Siguro kahit
We only attract what's appropriate for us.
Yes, because we should know, the tour operators in Manila should be educated on this. For us to know our limitation in the marketing process, yes, the carrying capacity of the destination.
Alright, what's the carrying capacity for a festival?
Liit ng probinsya.
we can accommodate up to 300,000 pero it's local.
Kasama yung accommodations. We have accommodation capacity
So
for
we have naman
300,000.
luncheon houses.
Okay.
And etc. Usually they return to their house. But kung foreign siya, siguro realistically mga
Then you can stay in like connecting.
we have to spread it out up to
Yeah.
Jensen.
All right.
To Jensen.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Governor Sherry.
Yes, kami rin, we cannot handle that.
Like
big.
what's the figure that we're talking
For
about?
including locals, we can have the same with ᴠɪsɪᴛ. But for those foreigners or outsiders from outside the region, we can spread it. But we need the support of the province of Leyte.
Okay.
Because we cannot handle the accommodation
oh.
in the province of Samar alone.
What's our inventory of accommodations? What's the capacity?
It's so small.
Okay.
That's what I said. We need investors, but
Right. Okay. But you have now Oriental Hotel Cebu, so that's like a very
in
good hotel.
Tacloban. Actually,
So we can interconnect some of the destinations.
yes. Actually, what we did, we utilized also the airport of Tacloban.
All right.
And then we start the tour
Okay.
from
Tacloban.
from Tacloban. You cross San Juanico Bridge.
All right.
And then started with Marabot, Basay area,
Okay.
going to Paranas.
Okay. Oo. That's how we
Kami okay
strategize.
na kami, dala niyo lang kami ng mga 1 million na tourists a year.
1 million a year. 1 million a
okay
year.
na
So
kami.
they're happy. So that's the
Okay ba?
capacity. Yes,
Kasi we
Governor.
don't want to disappoint the tourists.
Right. Yes, Governor.
For the province of Ifugao also, we cannot accommodate 5 million guests at a time or even spread in the year because we are a small province and we have limitations on the accommodation. But of course, we have our neighboring provinces also very neighborly, the province of ᴄᴏᴍᴇ. So we can accommodate a little lesser than my fellow governors of City a while ago. 200,000 perhaps could be enough to be accommodated in the province of Ifugao, spread all over.
So we just have to use the other provinces for interconnectivity, no? So, and these, their featured provinces kasi are very charming, very rich in culture, which they also want to preserve. So, let's work with whatever they have because we also don't want to, over-commodify the culture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And there's a niche, no? There's a charm. They don't want to be somebody else because they're unique on its own. Yes, Mr. President Cesar Cruz.
I would like to take this opportunity to be able to interact with the governors. We have been to your provinces, Ifugao, Samar last week, South Cotabato, we been there last year. And one thing we noticed is the very strong organization from the provincial office down to the municipal office through the very strong tourism officers, either from the provincial to the municipal or city tourism officer. I'm asking this question because I would like this to be a benchmark for the other LGUs in the different areas in the country. How did you find, because you have a very, very strong tourism program in your province, but how did you connect really, how do you find it in such a way that with a very strong tourism organization, with a tourism officer and the LGU, how did you find it beneficial for the continuous and sustainable promotion and marketing of your destination and to reach the level of what you are now?
We institutionalized tourism officers, yes. But what the provincial government really did is to act as mentor. And we extend funds for municipalities and barangays that has tourism potentials. So we help also project.
Parang madaming fans sa South Cotabato dito.
Binibenta din namin yung mga tourism sites at sila mismo yung mga tourism officers namin. Pag nagtutulungan, hindi na sumasakit ulo ng mga gobernador.
Yes.
Kasi paghahanap na lang kami ng pera for training, for exposure, for funding.
Yes.
Diba? So, pag may bisita kami, pasapasahan na lang, di ba? So ako, I advise for provinces to act as mentor. Sometimes matalino pa nga ang taga-munisipyo, so openness to also accept yung mga sinasabi nila na kulang pa namin na gawin. So dapat you have to form them into a tight family. Kasi it's the tourism people who really can move kung ano ba ang pwedeng gawin. At ang fortunate naman kami, kasi yung mga mayors namin, masunurin sila sa mga empleyado. We recognize that technically our career people are sometimes better than us because they focus on a certain field. Unlike kami na mga politiko, we come and go, and then we focus on generalities. Sila, specialists sila.
If I may speak from experience, going to South Cotabato and sa Tiboli. Ayaw ko nandito ba si Rodel Hilado? Andiyan si Rodel. Okay. So, nakita ko, the people there, yung mga LGs, they're very empowered and there's so much pride, they're oozing with pride, and they really own it, kagaya nga sinabi ni Governor. Their sense of ownership of culture, na talagang pinapangalagaan na, and it shows the way they talk, the way they carry the guests, and that's something so impressive Kasi yung iba, hindi ko sa ibang destinations, hindi ko nakita yun, pero dito sobrang very personal sa kanila, they treat it very personal and the culture is there, and so I can speak for Governor Daisy.
If I may add,
Kami kasi, no, di ba, kinakailangan na namin talaga magbigay ng incentive. Pag sinabi na, may bisita kami, 40. O pwede ba mag-cultural night kayo dyan, kayo magpa-dinner?
O kaya na nilang mag-isa.
Sagot na namin yun, di ba? Parang ganun yung arrangement.
And if I may add, sa tatlong probinsya nito, dito ko nakita kasi yung from the regional level ng Department of Tourism, paano siya naka-attach sa LGU ngayon. Kasi ang dali pag sa kanilang probinsya, you go to the regional office ng DOT and then the regional office will just reach out now to the LGUs.
Yeah.
Alam mo, seamless yung ginagawang arrangement. And this we have experienced in these provinces. We can say this because in some provinces and some regions we did not experience this. The experiences we had from these provinces, outstanding talaga, Samar and also.
Yes. For me, going to these, 3 destinations are like fulfilling a dream. That should be part of the bucket list. So yes, Yung question ni Mr. Cesar Cruz.
Sa amin naman ho sa Samar, siguro we're so lucky to have a regional director who's very supportive and personalized. So talagang si RD Karen, siya talaga yung mentor ko talaga. And I don't think na aabot kami sa ganitong stage without the support and guidance of the region, especially RD Karen. Kaya nung nilipat si RD, umiiyak na ho kami talaga doon sa Samar because we felt that there's a big loss sa amin nung